Back everyone, I'm James the Tie Guy, and today we're taking a look at the newest Elite Series figure to be released from the Disney Store. This is the 35th anniversary of Return of the Jedi, and this is the Darth Vader figure to commemorate that. It is similar to the Vader figure already in the Elite Series, but this one features a removable two-piece helmet to show Vader as he appeared at the end of Return of the Jedi. This is of course exclusive to the Disney Store, as are all the Elite Series. That is similar to the Black Series, although it being made of die-cast metal, it is quite a bit heavier and a little less articulate, but they are nice for display, especially in their box. So we're going to take him out here in a moment, take a look at him, but he was released on Friday, May the 4th. He sold out fairly quickly, or later that morning. I got him probably around 4 in the morning as soon as he went live on the site, and then by 9 or 10 I believe he was sold out. He hasn't reappeared since, and a lot of people are saying that the Disney stores are sold out. They only got maybe 10 to 15 a store. The Disney parks got more of them and still have some, but that's to be expected because they always get the bulk of these figures, being as large as they are. So he's going to be a little bit harder to find, I think. I read a Disney Store employee saying that they think he's going to be similar to the prototype Boba Fett that came out a few years back and the General Grievous. They probably aren't going to get very many more shipments of him, so it is going to be harder to find than some of the more recent specialty releases like the Stormtrooper Han and Luke that came out last year as part of the 40th anniversary celebration. So if we go ahead and take a look at his box here, like we said, it's fairly similar to what already has came out, except for the packaging inside. It has room for his helmet. And then you've got the 35th anniversary of Return of the Jedi sticker down here, which looks nice. And the back of it mentions where it is commemorating that 35th anniversary, and here you have the price sticker, $26.95 in the US, $33.95 Canadian. So we'll go ahead and open him up here. I'm going to take him off to the side. I've already opened this up to take pictures of, and if anybody has ever had a Black or Elite Series figure before, they know that they are in there really good with some metal zip twist ties, and it takes quite a bit of work to get them out, so I went ahead and opened him up so I wouldn't have to do all of that on camera, because the twist ties sometimes have to be cut with pliers unless you want to cut your fingers trying to get them off, because the ends can be pretty sharp. So his accessories, which I'll show you, are his two-piece helmet and then his lightsaber. His lightsaber I have a small gripe with, and we'll get to that in a minute, but I'm not too concerned about it because his main party piece is the removable helmet, and that looks pretty neat, as you'll see. I haven't weighed him here, but I'm guessing that he probably at least weighs 9 or 10 ounces, if not more. He's very heavy because he is die cast. So this is going to be him without his helmet. And of course, in Return of the Jedi, we never seen him without his helmet standing up. He was sitting down. I did try to replicate the pose rather, but because none of his capes come off, it made it a little bit difficult to do so, because he didn't want to articulate the legs fully to that position. I wish that this cape part here came off. It's attached with this little rubber chain. I wish I had some way of coming off so that we just leave this bottom part, because as you can see, if you try to set him down to replicate that Return of the Jedi scene, it's kind of hard. You have to kind of prop him against something like that, and it don't exactly look right, but not too big of a gripe. If we get to his articulation, he's got his feet, which go up and down. They don't articulate left and right like Black Series. His legs, one joint, and they only go in that position, which would be the only one you really care about anyways. Same with that leg. The arms, the hands articulate 360. This hand, the elbow, it's got some elbow movement, but not a lot. That's as far as it'll go in that direction. And then it will rotate all the way around. And this arm is a little bit more easy to maneuver. Again, it goes up and down. He has one joint at the elbow. Hand goes 360. This hand is for holding his lightsaber, and this one has the choke force choke pose on it, which looks really neat. I'm going to go ahead and bring you up closer to the camera here so the light might catch him. They did a really good job on his head sculpt, I have to say. He looks pale and washed out, which is exactly how he looked in the movie, which would be expected from someone that's been wearing a suit for all of those years and not getting any sunlight exposure. His head's got these deep scarring craters in them, similar to Snoke. This piece here, his breathing apparatus, is not removable, but it's not too big a deal because in the Return of the Jedi, this piece never actually came off of him. He actually died, and that piece was still intact, so that's accurate. This piece down here is just solid metal. It's not like a flap like on the Black Series. It's really a solid chunk of metal. It's very, very heavy. Here's his cape. You can see the screw holes back there, which is one thing the Elite Series is kind of notorious for, is these exposed screws, but on this guy it's not that big of a deal because his cape hides all of them. So on this it's really a non-issue because he'll never be seen without his cape, since it doesn't come off anyways, so not gonna count off anything for that. The details are nice, faithful pretty much to Return of the Jedi, how a suit appeared in that. And he comes with this stand like all of the Elite Series do. He's only got one hole for the peg. It's in his right foot, which he really needs a stand of some sort because they're so heavy they have to be balanced just right, and any uneven terrain won't work, so this stand helps to do that. Of course, even then you can have a little bit of trouble with it. But we'll bring in his helmet. So here it is. See if we can get it to focus. Two pieces, removable like this. This here is solid metal. It's nice and sturdy. This is a bendable plastic TPU type material. It does flex. It doesn't have a lot of details on it like the Black Series helmet. It has all the little contact gold and silver points here. I wish this one had some more detail besides just the black and the silver here on the nose piece, but it's okay. And it just snaps in there like that. So to put it on him, once it's on him, it is somewhat secure, but it's not really secure. It's not going to hold up to play, which I really don't know why any kid would want to play with these too much. They're just so heavy. You drop one on your foot and you're going to know it. But they display well, and that's what I buy them for. So this goes on here like that. It doesn't really snap or anything into place. It just kind of sits there. So if he has that on, if we turn him around, you see the back of his head. Similar to how he would have looked in real life with just that piece on. And then this, the only thing that really keeps it on is just the sheer weight of it. It's fairly heavy, at least an ounce, if not more. But there's no magnets or anything like that. It just sets on there like that. Looks good, I think. It's got the tall dome appearance as it appeared in Return of the Jedi. The lenses aren't colored anything specific. They're just dark. They're not any specific tint other than just their dark lenses, but I think that's how they're supposed to be at this point in the Vader suit evolution. So if you take off, it's just like this, and there you have just his head again. But like I said, the head sculpt on him is really good. That's probably one of the best features, and that is this feature, or figure's feature over any of the other Elite Series Vader that has been released, is the head. And I'm glad that they put some detail into his head sculpt, because that's really what everybody wants this for. And it really looks good. It's pretty much on par with Hasbro's new dot matrix facial printing techniques, I think. If you zoom in like super close to it on some of my really close-up shots, you can almost see the individual dots. So I think they're using some advanced printing technology on him instead of just paint, because his eyes, there's a very distinction between his pupil and the rest of his eye. It's not some sloppy paint job. As you can see here, they're very even got the dark circles under his eyes like he had in the movie. So props to, I'm not sure who makes these. I know that it just says Disney Store, but I don't know who the manufacturer is. I know it's not Hasbro, but they did a good job on it. Getting the balance back here. Now what I'm going to do for some comparison, we'll put his helmet on. Set him right here to the side a little. I'm going to bring in his Black Series cousin and set them next to each other. So, well, the height is going to be a little off because of the stand. So let's see if we can get him to stand on his own. See what I mean about the helmet? Any little shaking, it's just going to come right off. It's really not meant to be handled very much, more or less just displayed. We'll get him into his force choke pose, which is probably one of my favorites. So there he's standing on his own. We'd like the cape maybe to be soft goods in a way, like the Black Series version, but kind of nice to have both, I guess. So there they are, no stands. You can see the height difference. Oops. Pretty apparent. We'll put him like that. This guy, even without his helmet, is taller. Put it back on. I've had a lot of trouble with getting this thing to stay on, as you can see, for photographs and stuff. So it's really meant to be, if it were me, I'd just display in its box, because otherwise you're going to have the helmet falling off a lot or lose it. Or just display it maybe on a shelf where it's not going to get a whole lot of attention, and more or less just being looked at. So there it is. You can see he's got quite a commanding height difference, about like the difference in Phasma and a regular First Order Stormtrooper. And if we bring him closer here so you can see some of the details. Of course, this Vader is coming from a different era in the evolution of his suit, so the front chest piece and things are slightly different. This Vader here, you know, this piece here is like a soft goods, almost like leather, whereas here it's just a chunk of metal. But that's the overall comparison to them. So they both have their good points and bad points, but nothing that's a deal breaker for the Elite Series at all. Like I said, I really like him because of the way his helmet comes off. The only thing that I don't like, and we'll get to it here, is his saber. It is just way too long. As you can see, the ratio of saber blade to hilt is just not, it's way off. The saber is at least a quarter size too long. If we bring in this Black Series saber, which even though the figure is slightly smaller, it still shouldn't be a huge difference. But you can see there, hilts are almost the same. The Black Series is actually a little bit bigger, but the blade on this thing is just looks more like a coffee stirrer than a lightsaber. It fits easily in his hand. His hand's actually completely enclosed, and it will only fit the saber. And depending on the angle, like this angle looks okay, but when you turn to the side, it starts to get a little weird. It's harder to show on camera. It looks more odd in person. There you can kind of see. So I have a few pictures of him with his saber that I did just because I wanted everyone to be able to see all the detail of him. But if I were to display him out of his box, I don't know, maybe try to use a different saber. I don't know if it's Black Series, the hilt might be too big to fit. I think it is. It's too big to fit in this opening, if you can see there. It's just a circle opening, and this saber hilt won't, for the Black Series, won't go in there. So it's either displaying with the one that's a little too long, or just leaving him in his force choke pose, whichever you prefer. But there he is. Like I said, he is available now if you can find him. for $26.95. That's his retail price. If you have any questions about him, do make sure and let me know, and I'll answer anything that I can for you. I have the Mim Van Stormtrooper that's supposed to be here tomorrow, hopefully, the Black Series. So I'm going to be doing a photo gallery of him as soon as I get him, and then a review video. So you want to watch for that. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up. That would be appreciated. And if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. That'll help me out a lot. I hope everyone has a great beginning of their week, and may the Force be with you.